Great news. We want to hear from you. We want your questions, your thoughts, all of that good stuff. And you can email us now at podcast@mancity.com.
Is it 15 hours without conceding a goal at one point?
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. That was in my second year there, so we've gone fully professional. And actually, funnily enough, Neil from Bristol was the goalie coach again at Charlton, so he was back, so we were working together, which was great. And then, I think we did go something like 15 hours. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that was cool.
The official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the official Man City podcast. I'm your host, George Kelsey, joined by my very glamorous host, Sam Cox. How are you, Sam?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good.
Can't complain. But the main point of the reason we're here today is Eartha Cumings. Eartha, thank you so much for joining us firstly. How are you?
I'm well, how are you guys?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not doing too bad.
Yeah, it's still quite early, obviously, in your career at City. So I suppose the first question is, how have you found it so far and how are you settling in?
Yeah, it's been nice. I think I've been here maybe like a month or something, maybe a bit longer. Yeah, I really like all the team and feels like a really nice group to be part of. So yeah, I'm enjoying being here.
Yeah, nice vibe as well, I imagine. We've had quite a nice summer and exciting start to the season.
Yeah, but the weather's been a bit off recently. But
To be fair, though, you're from Edinburgh, aren't you? So I imagine the rain's not a...
It's a bit better than here, though. It's nicer weather up there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Less rain, but...
Good point, yeah.
What's the weather like in when you're at Rosengard? Is
Oh.
it similar to here, or is it? Because I've never been out there, so I wouldn't know. How to,
No, the weather
to
out
judge
there, like I always say, the summers in Sweden are like unbelievable. They're so nice. You get the like long days, blue skies, it's always sunny. It feels like we were Malmö's right by the coast, so you can like go straight from training to sunbathe. And it's a very nice life.
Sunbathing in Sweden. Wow.
I know, you wouldn't believe it, but yeah, the summers are ridiculous.
Yeah. What about the winters?
Cold and long, very long.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, we'll get on to stuff about Rosengard later because obviously you've had so much success there, and obviously knew Rebecca there and Therese as well. But we wanted to sort of start right at the beginning of your career because we always think it's interesting to learn about sort of what your inspirations were and stuff. So, what was early life like for you in Scotland, and also particularly football? What sort of were your inspirations of getting into it?
Yeah, well, my dad is really into football, so he was always keen when I was growing up. So me and my sisters, we all played from a young age. So I was joined my local team, Spartans, when I was like 5, and I joined as a goalkeeper like directly. I wanted to be a keeper, but yeah, I was playing with my sisters a lot and my dad. So yeah, a lot of that.
It's quite interesting to be a goalkeeper first because you normally hear about goalies sort of being
transition a bit later in life.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why I was like immediately drawn to it. Like it was the first position I ever wanted to play, and it wasn't like anyone was like big siblings sticking you in goal or anything like that. I think it was just me. I just really fancy being a keeper.
Great. Did you play with your siblings as well?
So I was in the same team as my big sister for a couple of years, so I was quite young. I never played with my elder sister. She's like 7 years older, so we didn't overlap, sadly. But I played with my middle sister for a long time.
What position did she play?
Both of them were centre mids, actually.
Okay.
No competition between us.
I didn't know if she'd be maybe like a centre back and being like really protective of you, or the other way around.
No, centre mid.
Okay,
just fun.
Spraying passes out to them.
Age. Age 7.
Yeah. Was there a moment in those early years, because you then actually came through at Spartans, didn't you, and ended up playing for them to senior level? Was there a moment when you first joined them, or a bit later on, where you kind of thought, "Hang on, I'm pretty good at this, and I think I could make something out of this"?
I never thought about being a professional footballer until I was like 17, because I suppose back then, I didn't know it was really possible for women to be professional footballers, or definitely not for me. Like, I didn't really think, I don't know, maybe there were like 6 professional footballers in Scotland when I was growing up type thing. So, I don't know, I never really thought about it until I got to 17, and then I was playing in the Spartans first team, and I was in what was called like the National Performance Academy for Scotland. It was like a few players from each age group that they thought could maybe make it to the seniors. And like it was in that where people were talking about going professional or hoping to go professional. A lot of the girls would leave that on going on to professional teams. That was when I was kind of like, oh, but maybe that's a possibility for me too.
Wow. So how old were you when you made your debut at Spartans, senior?
15.
Wow.
Yeah, competitive debut 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, that's a massive learning curve.
Yeah.
So many senior players around you. That must have helped you.
Yeah, it was
loads.
brilliant. Like there were so many great people there. Like a lot of them are still there, kind of working in the club, or a couple of them are still playing there. So there was like Katie Riley, who was the captain at the time, and she was brilliant with me. And my goalie coach JR, who he sadly passed away a few years ago, but he was brilliant. So, and the manager, everyone was super welcoming with me. And when you're that age, you've not really got any fear. You're just like, this is fun. So
you mentioned there that a lot of people maybe are still there, and do you think that's maybe an example of what football is like maybe in Edinburgh or in Scotland? Are people quite loyal or kind of helpful to those in those sort of places coming from there?
I think so, and especially Spartans is like a massive community club. Like they do so much for the local area. So I think that really kind of keeps a lot of people there because like it's a really important club for the area and it does so many great things. And like in a time where there weren't many full-time roles in women's football, they, in their community setup, had full-time jobs. So our manager worked for the club and was our manager. So she wasn't getting paid to be our manager, but she had a full-time role within the club and things like that. And it's just a really great club to be a part of, I think, Spartans.
When people are that sort of selfless, maybe doing multiple roles and to help women's football, do you think for you in the group who played in that team, do you think that imprinted on you and maybe the work ethic that maybe you and other players in that team maybe have had? Yeah,
definitely. Like thinking back, like I was at school and training, so it was pretty chill for me, but there was so much that all the team had full-time jobs. So like one of our players, Danny, she was a paramedic, so she'd be like working 12-hour shifts and then coming to play a game, or like working night shifts and stuff like that. So that kind of attitude of just, I don't know, for instance, like we do this as our job, but having a full-time job on the side and still being as committed to football is amazing.
Absolutely.
You can sort of separate yourself as well and realise that, like, if a result doesn't quite go the way, it's like, well, there's much more to life. There's more to my life
for
than
sure,
this as well.
For sure. Yeah, it keeps a bit of perspective, and I think, it's easy to lose that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
a bit all-consuming.
It must be lovely for you now, though. I imagine that the people that you work with and played with at Spartans that have maybe, as you say, are either still there or have moved on to do other things in their life. They're looking at what you're doing now, what you have done, and they must be so proud. Seeing you play for Scotland, for example, it just...
Yeah. Spartans, I believe they often send me messages and stuff, or like people from the club reach out still, and they're like, really supportive. So it's amazing. And I think I'm the first player to come through like from their academy to represent the seniors and to maybe play professionally, I think.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
We'll say that, don't worry.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So, but then it must have been, as you say, going to Bristol City is massive to get that professional opportunity playing in the top flight, but to do it so young and move from Edinburgh down to Bristol and all that, it must have also been a bit difficult at times, or a difficult decision at first. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm like a massive home bird, so it was quite a struggle at the start, but it was nice. My dad is from Bristol, so my granny was living down there when I moved there, so that was nice to have a wee bit of like family and support there. So my siblings or dad would come down a fair bit to like visit, and I knew Bristol a little bit growing up, but it's nice that I actually got like the chance to live there myself. And like Bristol's an amazing city. I think it's such a class place to live. I loved it.
In some ways it is sort of a little bit similar to Edinburgh
in a sense. Like it's very hilly.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Like no, I think it kind of is. Like they're both really nice cities, and I think like they bought both places I loved living. So I was very happy there.
And how important was that move to have family there? Like you say, Granny was there at the time, and from speaking to you already, knowing how key the family aspects of your life is. So how did that help you on the pitch as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it's always nice to have a bit of like familiarity when you move somewhere, especially when you move away for the first time. Like I did definitely find it pretty tough when I first moved away. I was pretty like, you get a bit lonely and homesick and all that stuff. So it definitely helped a lot. And also, like I started uni at Bristol, so that was like a big kind of change as well. And the uni was a bit so with my studying, so it was nice to have like a bit of family to kind of retreat to in that way.
When you do make a move that big, so obviously going from Scotland down to Bristol, obviously going into a team, obviously with Bristol City, when you go into a team when there's maybe obviously a big squad of players, and you're instantly in that. Does that almost help you sort of settle in as well, or is there maybe another side of it, trying to settle in to that environment and then also an environment outside of the team?
I think I think at Bristol I was so lucky. Like I had a really great goalkeeper group. Like I had our goalie coach Neil, and Sophie Bagley was there, and she and I are really good friends still. And Neil as well. He's someone who's really important in my career still. So I think I was just super fortunate to meet some like really wonderful people that like definitely made me feel more at ease and at home being so far away. So I think that was nice. Like,
what did you study at uni?
I studied ancient history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Any particular sort of era? I'm a bit of a history guy myself, so I'm,
are you? Oh,
pricked up a
okay.
bit now I'm ready.
Right. Fair. I didn't make it onto the Romans. I just was doing the Greeks, and then I dropped out.
Just the Greeks.
Just the Greeks, and like, yeah, it was fun though. Like, well, not fun. It was, some of it was interesting. Looking back on that, it was quite a rogue choice, but I liked history, so I thought, okay, I'll do history. But then I didn't get the grades to do history, and then it was like, oh well, ancient history is interesting. Everyone thinks it's interesting, but then I think when I got there, it was like, you're in this class, and it's like, I think my first ever lecture was my module was medical poetry, and I was like, this sounds kind of interesting. I guess I'll pick that. I turned up and there's like 6 people in the class, and they just were chatting about some like ancient kind of poem, and I was like, wait, I feel well in over my head here, because it seemed like everyone else was understanding what was going on, and I'd never done like, my school didn't do like classics or anything, so I felt a bit like, oh, what's this?
I'm not going to pretend I know anything. You two can.
I can't pretend either.
I can't either.
As soon as you said classics, I was like,
No.
You had bigger fish to fry. You had a professional career to think
fry,
about anyway,
bigger fish
didn't
to
you?
fry, exactly. Yeah.
Is it something that maybe you'd be interested in, not like studying again, but is it like a pastime or a hobby of yours to read up on history or anything outside of?
No, it's not. It's not. So
Really scarred you.
Really. No, I think in the sense like I have like a surface level interest in it. Like when I was younger, I was probably more into it, with all the stories and that. But no, I'm more into like art or something like that.
Nice. Yeah. I imagine being at Bristol so young, having those opportunities at first was really cool, as you say, and then you had the opportunity to go to Charlton, didn't you? And they'd just gone professional, hadn't they, at the time?
In my first year, no, we were
right.
semi-professional. In my second year, we went professional.
Right.
So in my first year, it was part-time, so we were training in the evenings. So that was like going from a professional club back to like training in the evenings. I found that really hard because it's like, oh, you're starting training at like 7 o'clock at night and stuff, and yeah, it's not ideal in that sense. So that was quite tricky, but I got a wee part-time job working in a like a waste-free shop. So like you come in and weigh it and all that kind of stuff. So I was the person, which is quite funny. Like I got quite good at it. Like I could be like, someone would bring you a bag of something, you'd be like, oh, that's unhulled barley. Just see it by eye. Like, that feels like about 500 grams. I can do that. Just kind of eyeballing it. It was quite
just
funny.
Become an expert.
Yeah, which is for the time I was there, kind of like a very useful skill.
Picking up football, being like, well, this is roughly
250 or something.
I can imagine that is a bit of a mentality shift, though, going from full time to then having your job and obviously devoting your time and energy to that, and then getting in, being tired, and then thinking, I've got to go and train now and everything.
Like, wow, how are people doing this? Like, massive respect.
They give you more appreciation for what they were doing.
Definitely. Because when you're in it the first time, it's all you've ever known. So you're like, well, of course this is what we do. And then like going back to it, I was like, oh wow, like this is actually quite tough. Like it's a totally different thing. Like training in the evenings and working in the day, and that. So that was pretty, different shift. But then maybe about halfway through my first year there, they got me to train with like the boys in the days. So that was really fun, actually. I really enjoyed that. Like more of like kind of professional type schedule, like training in the mornings. And that was actually a really cool experience. I really like that. Yeah,
we had a similar thing when City's women's team first went professional. There were 5 or 6 players who were pro very early on, and they got to train with the boys as well.
Cool.
And I think Karen Barsley's talked about it before and just said it was like really cool, really helped them out. So it's funny you have the same experience.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really great thing, like to have to get to do. Like it's just a different kind of football, and that it's like, really fun experience.
Were there any players maybe in that Charlton boys team that stood out? I was
going to say, they've got a good academy.
Yeah, they've got a great academy. Like,
Charlton.
a couple of them. One of the keepers, he signed for Brighton, so I think is he on loan at Birmingham now? He's like playing in the seniors.
Right.
a couple of the boys made it into the Charlton first team and are like regulars there now, which is super cool to see.
Brilliant.
It's cool.
And then one of the boys signed for Chelsea just after I left, I think, which was
Great.
Wow.
because they got a really great academy.
Yeah.
So you're a bit like, wow.
And you had a lot of success at Charlton as well, didn't you? You had a great time. I think when we were looking through stuff, is it 15 hours without conceding a goal at one point?
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it was that was really cool. Like that was in my second year there, so we've gone fully professional. And actually, funnily enough, Neil from Bristol was the goalie coach again at Charlton, so he was back. So we were working together, which was great. And then I think we did go something like 15 hours. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that was cool.
Is that something I imagine players get asked this all the time when there's like great runs or records or something? Does it actually like not affect you, but do you pay attention to that and think, oh, that's another 90 minutes where we've kept a clean sheet? Or is it just a case of I want to keep a clean sheet for my team, I want to win for the team, and that's a happy sort of coincidence that you get these records and stuff?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think you notice it until you're probably like quite far down the line with it. Like until you're, I don't know, when you're like, oh, that's like however long it was. I think it's more like, when it's over, you're like, oh, it's over now.
Gotta start again.
You're like, oh, yes, start the clock again.
Yeah.
How appreciative as a team to have such a defensive record like that, were maybe the midfield and the forward players? Did that maybe give them slightly more freedom to know, like, we've got a pretty decent defence and goalkeeper here, we can maybe go out and...
Yeah, you score one, you're going to win.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like... I'd imagine so. Like, it's always a nice place to start. Like, if you can keep a clean sheet, then you're not going to lose. So, yeah, I think so. I think it's like, but it's a whole team effort, isn't it? Like, we're all kind of working towards that defensive and attacking. It's all whole team and that.
It's a distribution we were talking about earlier with your sisters into the midfield.
Yeah, just launch it as far away as possible. Least chance of conceding.
Sorry to sort of bring it to a different sort of pace, but was it at Charlton or was it at Bristol City where you actually ended up getting compartment?
That was the Spartans, actually.
Was it Spartans?
Yeah, I was
really
17,
early on.
Wow. So it was early on, yeah. So I was 17, so yeah, I'd played like maybe a season and a half with the seniors. And then I ended up getting that in like January. So that was, obviously quite stressful, and it put me out for... I think all in all, the recovery probably took best part of a year, because it was like I'd recover, then I'd need another surgery, then I'd recover, then I'd need another surgery. So it was a lot of like forwards, backwards. Yeah. So yeah, that was probably about a year of my last 18 months or a year of my last 2 years at Spartans, that kind of thing. Just thinking, yeah.
So it's sort of pressure on muscles, isn't it, from the blood?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a circulation issue. So it's when you're not getting... your circulation's disrupted and you're not getting enough oxygen to a certain part of your body. And I had it in my calves, so like, both my calves, I got it in both legs. And it's like, the way they describe it is as if because there's not enough oxygen getting to the muscles, they start to swell up and they're under stress and there's a build-up of pressure in there. And the muscles are trying to release this pressure, but because your fascia contains your muscles and your fascia doesn't stretch, the pressure has nowhere to go, and they say it's like blowing up a balloon inside of a water bottle. Like the balloon is trying to expand, but it just can't because the bottle's keeping it locked in there. And then basically so when you have this, you have to have what are called fasciotomies. It's where they open up your legs and down to the fascia. They open up the fascia to release this pressure and relieve it. And so you have to have that. I would show you the scars, but I haven't shaved my legs today, so I won't be doing that.
Fair enough.
But how, at 17, and obviously you said you've already made your debut for Spartans up until that point, without maybe a lack of better phrase, how scary is that for a 17-year-old to have to go through in those conversations maybe with doctors and literally right at the start of your career? Yeah,
I think, at the time, obviously it was scary, and I was very emotional and kind of upset and distressed and just anxious. But I suppose when you're going through it, I don't think I really was thinking so far ahead. I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, you're not really processing it in the moment. I think you're not really able to, or I wasn't really able to do that, which I think is probably a good thing, because I think otherwise you could get
swallowed up by
Exactly. So initially it was like, obviously I think in the back of my mind, I always thought, oh, of course I'm going to play football again. Of course it's it's going to be fine. Obviously this is scary and stressful and upsetting and all that. And it's when they were saying, because when I had the initial surgeries and all that stuff, and I'm in like intensive care for a while, I would ask the doctors and be like, oh well, am I going to be able to play football again? And like for the first few bit, I was like, oh well, we're not sure. Like they obviously can't say, of course you will, because they can't do that.
Yeah.
Which is is what I want to hear is of course you're going to be fine, that kind of thing. And like I remember the most, like obviously the time I was like panicking the most was when they were like, this is what you have, we need to take you into emergency surgery, and like there's a risk that if it doesn't go well, we're going to have to amputate both your legs, type thing. And then you have to you have to sign a form to say like, I give consent for you to do this surgery, and then you're also giving consent for like, well, you could
if it happens,
happens, if they need that. And I remember being like obviously very scared at that moment, but I still think in the back of my mind I was like, that's not going to happen, you're denying it in that way. You're like, no, it's going to be fine. And then luckily I woke up and it went well, and they were able to there wasn't too much damage to the muscles, because that's what happens. Basically the pressure builds up and the muscles begin to break down and die, and then when a certain amount of muscles die, then the tissue is dead, the leg is dead, so that's when you have to amputate. So really, like I was super fortunate. They did a great job and caught it early enough, and I got minimal I got a bit of nerve issue in my, like I don't feel up here, and I have to wear like special socks when I play to protect the top of them, my feet, because the nerves got a bit damaged. But other than that, like I'm not very flexible in my ankles, which is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty fine considering, so...
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when you put all that in perspective, to still achieve what you have and still be able to achieve what you're going to achieve is pretty incredible, really.
Yeah, I know. I always say, though, because it's like people always ask, like, oh, it must give you so much perspective. I'm like, probably should give me more perspective. Like, I don't often reflect on it that much and be like, oh, actually, in the grand scheme of things, like you say, it's pretty good. Like, come a long way. You're always like... you're like, no.
Well, yeah, still
getting stressed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, you forget about it.
Yeah. During that time, though, and you said about how important your family is to you, how sort of comforting were they to you in that moment and during that process? Yeah,
they were obviously like great. Like if I was on my own, it'd been pretty terrible, pretty horrible. So I had all my family were around for like. My sister was living abroad, but she came home to kind of see me when they all first found out what was happening, because they were... my mum was with me when they took me in the hospital, like, when they said, oh, this is kind of what it is, and we need to do this, and it's that kind of an issue. And I remember my mum fainted, she said. I didn't know. She fainted outside the room, apparently, because it was like 4 a.m, that kind of thing. So I remember that, or I remember being told that, sorry. And they're all my family was... obviously very worried about me and very like anxious, but they were so great, like, to support me in that. And my mates and even my football team Spartans, they came along to visit me in hospital and that. So and everyone in the hospital was great with me. So
And look at you now, eh?
Sat with me and George.
I know. Living the high life.
Yeah. Different kind of surgery today, but still. Let's talk about how incredible your time at Rosengard was. I know we're kind of fast forwarding. Yes. You went to Liverpool, Everton, etc. But I mean, Rosengard, you had that absolutely incredible season in 2024. But a couple of familiar faces now at City as well,
which was really nice. Yeah, I loved Rosengard. I think it's probably one of the best moves I ever made in football. To go there, it was just such an amazing experience. It wasn't always amazing. Obviously, there's ups and downs to everything and that. And I think the start was a bit tough because I signed there in the summer. And the first couple of months, I was like, this is amazing, love it. The sun was out, sunbathing all the time, playing again. And then I broke my hand quite badly, so I was out for 5 months, which was a bit... that was really tough. And then it was the winter and it's dark and it's cold. And you're like, I've moved all the way out here to play football and I can't even play football. What am I doing here, And then, came back, and then that was the start of our new season, and that was just incredible. The kind of 2024 season, I think it was. Yeah. So, that was... I don't think anyone expected us to do that because the previous season, I believe we came 7th or something. And then, we just started winning and just never really stopped. Which was amazing.
Must be a great feeling when it's just week after week after week.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's really nice because out there, whenever you win a game, they had this thing you'd always really celebrate and be like singing in the locker rooms and that, or like dancing whenever you win a game, which I thought was so nice.
Yeah.
And then it's just like every week you're like, this is really nice. We're just flying here.
What were the type of songs that was being played in the changing room?
It was a Finnish song from Eurovision, I think, called Cha Cha Cha. So yeah, it was a lot of that for that year.
Love.
Sounds very good.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Have to get on it. Yeah. It's a bit of a interesting song, I'd say.
Yeah.
And like an interesting singer for sure.
Yeah.
If you see any pictures of him, he's quite jazzy.
Yeah. I suppose that the key thing about Rosengard as well is the link is with Therese as well, who's obviously was at Rosengard as sporting director, is now director of football here. Like, how important was she at Rosengard, and also how important was she in sort of convincing you to make this move now?
Yeah, like, I think Therese is, she's great, and we obviously get on, I feel like we get on really well. And when I went to Rosengard, it was off the back of my time at Liverpool, and it hadn't really gone so well, and I was feeling pretty like, what are my options here? Because I've not played in a while. So and then Rosengard came up, and it felt like, this is a massive club, and they're kind of, I don't know, they believe in me, and they're taking a chance on me, considering I've not done much in the last year. So it felt like from that point of view, like Therese was really like, and she really believed in me when I signed. They were like, we want you to be the number one, and we think you can do that and be good here. And I was like, that's pretty amazing. All right, sounds good. And then I went out there, and even when I was injured, she was really supportive. Like, I remember I was coming back from injury, and the other keeper was doing really well, so I was a bit like, am I gonna get back in the team here? And I remember I was, a bit anxious about that, as we all are. And she was like, no, like, we signed you for a reason. Like, just don't worry, just be fine. And then I get back in the team, so yeah, no, I think she's great. And then when City came up, in our first couple of chats, like, it was nice to just speak to her again,
Yeah.
It's good fun. Yeah, didn't take like too much convincing, I suppose, to come here.
I think it's always surprising with Therese whenever I've had the chance to speak to her. Like, you forget she is an icon of the game. She's
I know.
200 for Sweden, like Euros, finals, World Cup, all this.
I know.
But she's just so approachable and just loves talking about football, and the knowledge is incredible as well.
I know for sure. I think maybe that's like a Swedish thing, because like even at Rosengard, our captain when I was there was Caroline Sager, and she's like obviously a massive like icon of women's football, like incredible. And it was like such a honour to play with her, and like you chat to her and she's just the most down to earth, the most supportive person ever. It was like, I can't believe you're who you are, and you're just sitting here chatting to me, supporting me, Yeah.
Amazing. And the other connection with Rosengard is obviously Rebecca Kanak. I mean, when we signed her, we knew about the ability she had in front of goal and obviously protecting the goal. What was that like that year? Because when we spoke to her, she's kind of like, just kept scoring.
Yeah, it was
just came out of nowhere.
Like, she was just non-stop scoring. It was mad. Just a centre back. I think she scored like 13 goals or something crazy like that. It was just every game she was just scoring, and so many games like she scored such big goals for us, and like, I don't know, it just felt like every time the ball went in the box, it's like, Bex is going to score.
Yeah.
It was amazing, yeah.
It must be really nice then seeing what she's been able to do at City, especially with getting a Germany call-up and then at the Euros this summer. For someone, again, who's so down to earth and works so hard, to see her rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, I think she's so deserving of all of the success she's getting right now. She obviously would have been on here talking about her journey, but just like, the way she's like persevered and like the things happening now in her career, it's just, she so deserves it. And it's so brilliant to see, you're like, good things happen to like the right people, which is nice.
When maybe did you get in contact with her, or vice versa, when this move was starting to maybe warm up a little bit?
Yeah, I reached out to her, so I was texting her about it, and she was saying how good it is here, and how nice it is to be at City. So she was really supportive.
As you as a new player as well, coming into a club like Manchester City, coming from Sweden back to the country, but knowing Therese and knowing Rebecca, how has that helped you so far, settling in, knowing that you've got two people here who you've had such a good relationship in the past and they're already in the building?
Yeah, that's obviously great. Like, familiar faces are always nice when you're moving to a new place, and it might be a bit scary, and you're like, you don't know how to approach things, or you need to settle in and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great to have two people that, like, obviously I really like and have a good relationship with to hear.
Absolutely.
One other thing about Rosengard is you obviously managed to make your Scotland call-up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. How special was that for you? Because that is a real real achievement, a real honour to be able to represent your country.
Yeah, that was really amazing. Like, I didn't really see it coming when I got kind of like my first competitive appearance. It was like I'd been in the setup for a long time, but always just on the bench, like I never really played any minutes. So I played one friendly back when I was at Charlton, and that was it. And then I think one friendly in like 3 years or something. So it was like, yeah, it was amazing. And it was nice though, because I felt when it came around, I was like, oh, well, I feel ready for this.
Yeah.
Like, I've waited so long, and like obviously I was having a great time at Rosengard, and it was all going well. So when it happened, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, I don't feel like, you know, stressed out. So well, obviously you're nervous a wee bit, but yeah, it felt like, oh, I've kind of waited for this. So yeah, it was cool.
How do you and maybe other players as well find out that you're going to be getting your first cap?
To be fair, when I made my competitive debut, I came on at half time because Lee pulled a quad in the game, so I came on at half time and I wasn't expecting to come on because I thought, oh well, they're going to put on the other keeper instead of me, and then they're like, said me, and I was going, okay, it's quite nice. Like, you're like, you don't have time to think about it or get stressed. That was good. And then on next camp, I started both the games, but it was just like you do the team meeting, and they put up the subs first, and I was like, oh, I'm not on the subs. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starting, and you're like, it's crazy. Yeah, so that was quite a shock, and yeah, great feeling.
Yeah. I suppose you can kind of live in the moment a little bit with it as well, especially if you've, like you say, you feel ready for it. You've got the experience to go out and, like you say, be a little bit nervous, but just enjoy it. Is what every time you get any big moment in your life, people say, just enjoy it. Yeah. It's like, it's the easiest thing in the world to say, but to actually be able to do
Easier
that
said than done. Yeah.
Special. Yeah.
No, that was like when I was going to make the first start, I texted Neil and was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit nervous about this and a bit anxious. And he's like, why are you nervous? It's what you've wanted all your career. You know, just kind of like, I was like, it's a good point, I suppose. Like,
yeah,
I guess so. Yes, it's kind of what you do it for.
Yeah. We'll just finish off talking about City. I know it's still very early in your City career. Hopefully, be here for a very long time. But how have you enjoyed it so far? And in particular, the goalkeeper group, because it seems like a really good, tight knit bunch.
Yeah, no, the goalie group is really great. Like, Yamaki and Katie are such like nice people, and I really like. Yeah, it feels like a great group, and like we can all push each other, and the standards really high. So I really enjoy that, and also working with Diego. Like, he's got a lot of energy, and he's great. Like, yeah, he's good fun.
With Diego in particular, like how unique has it been being at City in terms of like what's expected of a goalkeeper? Is it unique compared to other places you've been at, or does it sort of just feel like a progression of what you were doing already?
Yeah, I think like, I don't know, with keepers and keeper training, you always really want to like push each other and push yourself to be like at your best level, but obviously when you're working with top keepers and there's a lot of competition, then you're like, right, I've really got to kind of be like pushing your standards or like working better or pushing for a higher level, that kind of thing.
Obviously you just said it there, but that competition coming into it, does that drive the standards of everyone in that sort of goalkeeper group?
Yeah, I'd say definitely. Like, you don't want to be left behind, or you don't want to be the person that's not really like pushing or working hard. So yeah, it's really good in that sense.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Eartha, this has been fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed chatting with you. It's been brilliant. We've got a couple more bits that we do on every podcast. So apologies in advance. You thought you were able to get out now. Wanted to do some quick fire questions with you. Right, okay. Your time. No, I'm joking. So yeah, just a quick answer to each of these. Don't need to go into too much detail. One goalkeeper you looked up to growing up?
Craig Gordon.
I mean, that's an obvious answer. Yeah. The best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, you say Caroline Sager told me once, E.C. Morgan, which means like ice in the stomach, so like be patient.
Oh yeah, like that. What was it, E.C. Morgan?
E.C. Morgan, so East Ice Morgan stomach.
Nice. I'll use that. Do you have any pre-match superstitions?
I wouldn't say superstitions, but I have like routines.
Yeah. What are those routines?
I like to watch videos of goalkeepers that I really admire or kind of, like what they do.
Yeah. So. Craig Gordon montage.
Craig Gordon.
On YouTube.
Yeah, Craig Gordon. A lot of Jan Sommer and like David Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Brilliant. Favourite way to relax after a game?
Oh, after a game. Don't know. It's nice to hang out with people. Like, just get some food, that kind of thing. Nothing too exciting.
Do you find it easy to switch off as well after a game, or do you kind of need a bit of time to decompress?
I don't find it so easy to switch off. I think it's nicer when you're like around people and you can chat and kind of distract yourself. If I'm just on my own, then I'm probably thinking about the game.
Yeah. If you weren't a footballer, what do you think you'd be?
I think I said in my induction media, I think I said I'd be a tree surgeon because that was my childhood dream.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. That's a great
Sorry,
one.
just on a bit of research I've done, and you might have been asked this before, about when you were a child going to sleep with a 4x...
just snorted.
4x5 plank of wood, is that right, or is that a myth?
Something like that, like a 2x4, I don't know. I wouldn't go to sleep unless I had a little plank of wood next to me when I was little.
Oh, nice.
And then when I fell asleep, my parents would come and take it away.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Kids normally ask for their blanket.
I know, I want my plank of wood, please.
Final one. This is a good one, actually.
Okay.
Favourite Scottish food that you would defend in a dressing room debate?
Oh, it's got to be haggis, doesn't it?
Completely agree. It's unreal.
I think I've only had it once, and I think I liked it, but when I was a
But I think it's
kid.
just the description puts people off.
Yeah.
Like when you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's sheep's stomach.
But the taste.
Yeah, the taste is it's so good. It's so delicious, and like, you know, when you have it on Burns night, and you have like the proper, all the get up around it, and all the Kayleys and like kilts and rabby buns and haggis, neeps and tatties.
Yeah.
Have you found anywhere in Manchester yet that does a good one?
I'm still searching.
Yeah.
I haven't started looking,
Okay.
but I'm gonna search. But I think it'll be like I can always bring it down.
Yeah, I was going to excuse the naivety. Is there something you could make at home, or something you can
not
bring
me.
down?
Not me. I think it's a bit complex for me.
Okay.
But definitely around Burns night, I reckon places will stock it. I think I'd be quite disappointed if they didn't.
They should do.
They should
surely.
do. It's a national food. So.
Yes.
With every podcast that we've done, the last guest leaves a question for the next guest, not knowing who that person will be. So on the last podcast, it was Tijani Reinders, and he wants to know what brings you the most joy in life.
Oh. In life, I feel like laughing. Like, you know, having fun with your friends and that, and family, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a nice question.
It's a very nice question.
Yeah,
It is,
and just before we let you go, as Tijani did, we don't know who's going to be next on the podcast, but we'd like you to ask them a question that they can answer. It can be football related, it can be anything outside, inside of football, whatever you like.
Oh. How about, would you rather have legs as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your legs?
George?
I don't know. That's tough. I think I'd rather have fingers as long as my legs because you can cut them down a bit, can't you?
Oh, that's a bit...
That's hard. That would be...
Wow, that's a bit dark.
They put you under.
But then you lose all your... You just have like, you know, that.
what?
You'd have no
That's
bend.
a good point. That's a really good point.
Because you've got the same... You've got obviously the same amount of like knuckles and stuff. But I was always thinking like if you had fingers... Because I would probably do
go
the
on
same.
all fours.
Don't know,
You
they're still
could go
strong.
faster if you had fingers as long as your legs.
I'm like
could you not?
Serengeti.
Yeah, hello.
It's a tough one, that.
But I think I'd go fingers as long as my legs also. But it's just like, you know, if you're going to make a fist or something, it's like a big basket.
That's a good point.
It's
Yeah.
just like huge.
Go to sleep in your own.
Yeah.
I think practically you could swim faster, you could move faster.
You could like give a good slap.
If you pad your hands flat, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Aerodynamic. Yeah.
I'm definitely going fingers as long as my legs.
That's good because everyone's gone for at least one answer then.
Yeah.
We've been a bit different. Well, I'm going to be thinking about that all day
Yeah,
now.
sleep on it.
I can't wait for... I don't know who the next guest is. I can't wait for them.
You got to let me know what they say.
Yeah.
We'll do. Well, Eartha, like I say, it's been brilliant having you on. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
And best of luck with the rest of your time at City, and hopefully that's for a very long time.
Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Thanks very much. And thank you everybody for listening along as always. Make sure to give us a review, have a listen, and everything like that. See you in the next episode.
The unbeatable official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Got a question? Send us an email at podcast@mancity.com.